We're live, guys. We're live.
So we are going live. Yes.
So Crystal will soon be coming in to do an intro. But before Crystal comes in, I'm just gonna play a trailer. Just listen, watch quickly, and get motivated about the type of community you're joining. So I hope it motivates and inspires you as we get ready to introduce the judges. The judges are already here, and I can't wait to listen to you. So yep. Right. Crystal, it's over to you.
I think there wasn't any sound on the video. I didn't hear the sound, but yeah, but yeah, I think we should continue. Maybe.
Are we ready? Yeah. So finally, the time has come, and I hope you are excited as I am, and we all are. It's been 2 days of hard work, problem-free innovation, experts coming in, facilitators helping through, talent brainstorming. So we are just excited for this final moment. Before we continue, I would like to urge you, after my colleague Samuel introduces the judge and you do your pitching and time for announcement of winner, please go on Facebook, Twitter, hashtag Unleash Liberia 2020, Unleash Liberia, Unleash Innovation Lab. Just spread the word that finally the time has come, the moment of pitching is here. So with much further ado, I now turn the floor over to Samuel, who's going to introduce our judges for us. Samuel, the floor is yours.
Thank you again. Sorry, I thought the video was playing at maximum sound. I hope we're all ready. Okay. Screen again and introduce to you the judges. Okay. Welcome again, and at this time I'll be introducing to you our judges. So meet our judges for the introducing to you our first judge. So our first judge is William Jackie, and William Jackie is our first judge, and from iCampus. And our next judge is Lawrence Yellow from Accountability Lab. Our third judge is William R. Dennis II from BSc Monrovia. And our fourth judge is Valai Gullet. And finally, our head judge is Madam Violet Bafor, organizing team members, fellow Unleashed facilitators, experts, and our amazing team of talents. These are the judges who will be evaluating your presentations and pitches today. At this time now, I'll be turning the floor over to Crystal, who's going to do a brief presentation before the judges take over from us. Crystal, is over, back to you.
Thank you very much, Samuel, and welcome to our judges. Now I'm going to just share very briefly the judging criteria that we've already talked about this during the sessions, but just to show again what the judges will be looking at from the solution, from a winning solution. So we have four criteria that the judges will be looking at. The first one is innovation, and that is worth 30%. So basically, it's the framing of the problem based on a unique insight that highlights and address tension, friction. And then they'll also be looking at the impact. Does it have potential to, is the idea have a potential, the idea you'll be presenting today as talent, does it have potential to solve a problem? Is it clearly safe? And viability as well. Is the problem backed by real data? Have you done your homework? Have you done some research or experience? And then finally, 10% will be given to performance. So how well will you convince the judges that your solution is the solution that we're looking for to solve the challenges Liberia face with SDG 6 and SDG 13. So these are the criteria. These are what the judges will be looking at. So talents, I know you're prepared because from this morning till now, we'll be talking about it. So with much further ado, I will stop here and then turn the floor over to our very first team, which will be taking over for now to tell us the amazing solution they have.
All right, so Madam Viola, we're now turning back over to you to coordinate this session and presentation. So it's over to you now.
Thank you, Samuel, and good evening to the teams. This is the moment that you've all been working towards. We're really, really excited as the judges to hear what your pitches are. We will go in sequential order, so starting with team 1 and concluding with team 4. That allows you all to get ready and to be prepared. So Without saying anything else, I think we will hand it over to team one to hear their pitch. Over.
Okay, Hazish, please share your screen. Okay, hello everyone. This is team one, Young Washa, and today we are focused on SDG number 6. So the problem we're trying to solve here right now is, Aziz, go up. The problem we're trying to solve here now is water contamination due to the lack of technological structures for purification and distribution. As you see on the slides, sorry, we're having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Hazish, as you see on the slides, our user detail here is the Dwazon Ofi community. From the preliminary research, we understood that it has about 150 households. So if it's 10 per household, we understand the inhabitant is around 1,500 people. So you can see the map on the far right there that tells you the exact location of the place. Next slide. So we came up with a couple of contamination that they face presently just based on research. We understand that they face a problem with water due to the presence of iron content and that of biological contamination. So the presence of iron content is due to the underlying geology. And because the place is wet, it's a wetland, what happened is the water tend to disintegrate the minerals, allowing the iron content to infiltrate the groundwater system. The biological contamination is caused by existing bacteria that are already in the environment, and also that of the feces that tend to infiltrate the water system. So as our main points here, we're focused on technological solutions. So we have, like, for example, you see in the next slide, we have the air compressor or the ozone generator. This is to help oxidize the already existing iron in the water. So what happened is the iron is in the soluble state, that means liquid state. So after oxygen is infused into the water line, what happened is the presence of oxygen tend to transform the liquid iron to more solid iron. From there, it's transferred to the multimedia or filter tank. The multimedia filter tank serves as a filter. So it filters the physical or iron content and then leaving also only the water, clean water of iron. Next slide. The next thing we have here is the ultraviolet light. Some people might say, why don't you, why we didn't use chlorine? But chlorine actually has some long-term effect like bladder infection and bladder cancer and so forth. The UV light is there to help us purify the biological component, like the biological contamination that exists within our water system. After the UV light process, what happened is it is moved to 4 different distribution plants. As you see here, we have the community map. We have 4 different stations that people can easily access, that they don't have to walk to one particular place to get water. If you look on the far right, we have the borehole at the end of the drawing here. The water is pumped up to the polar tank, and then it is oxidized up there by the ozone generator, and then it's transferred to the filtration chamber, which is same as the multitasking tank. Then it's exposed to the UV light for distribution. Thank you.
Yeah, we are here. Questions? So
you're finished, right?
So I have a question for the first thing.
a question for?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thanks so much for the presentation. Yeah, you made mention of using the UV light, the ultraviolet light, instead of the chlorine. So my question is, assuming you were to use the chlorine, what would be the negative effect, assuming you were to use the chlorine? I mean, I'd be in a situation people use the chlorine and it work, or I'd be a situation people use the ultraviolet light also it work. I mean, why really are you going for the ultraviolet light instead of the chlorine?
Okay, so I'll take on the stage. Yeah, the reason we chose is, like, if you have a long-term, if you dose in the chemical chlorine, you need to, it should be monitored properly by the professional. And the second is, when it is, if it is not monitored, you have excesses of chlorine in the water, which can lead to the harmful side products, which are called trialomethanes. if this methane, as per the protection agency, education environmental agency, it is suggested that if it is consumed for a long exposure, your body will, or your liver, you will have a bladder cancer, and this could further lead to human problems. So, and if you're adapting to UV technology, you're completely neglecting the storage of chemicals, exposure to of chemicals to the community. While if you're in the UV case, you don't have any chemical inclusion or any outside chemical which has been inserted. You only have a UV light which needs to be turned on when you're filtrate, when you want to collect the water. So if there are any bacteria or viruses existing, the UV light will be with the radiation power of between 2 point from between 250, that's the 254 nanometers. So if that falls upon the bacteria or viruses, you will get the water which is without any harm of bacteria or viruses. Thus, we are adopting for UV technology. And also the other point is that it has a working hour of 10,000 hours, the lifelong longevity. So if we know, we won't be using it all the year around. It would be only used when the people want to filtrate the water from the storage tank after filter. So it will have no, you can replace it yearly. And also the cost, we tried to had a market search, like the cost of chlorine would also result in high. Also, it would affect the like the people, humans' health. So we adopted, that's why, for a UV light technology.
Okay,
I got a question.
Thank you.
Hello?
Go ahead,
Thank you.
Lauren.
Yeah,
Thank
Lauren
you.
has a
I'll
question.
come wrap.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's an excellent move to use UV tech in finding purification method. But the question that I have has to do with the context of Liberia with 8 months of rainy season and a lower UV penetration within the heavily rainy month, in which the water table is high. How important and how functional will this technology be? And of course, it is in the rainy season that you have bacteria causing human diseases. How important, and it is at this same rainy season that water is really needed by these kind of communities. So I just want you to walk us through the relevant impact of such a project in a country like Liberia and in a community like Douazon Ophir, at which the water table is very high and the bacterial level will be high in 8 months of the year.
Okay. I think, Tony, would you like to take on the suggestion for this?
Okay, so you're asking about the durability of the UV light in rainy season?
Not just durability, I'm asking about the total functionality of this technology in Liberia, where there is 8 months of rainy season with high water level in that kind of community. And also the bacterial concentration will be high and the iron concentration will be high. How effective this will be.
Okay, if you saw the last slide, there we have like a borehole, right? That's going to be over 100 feet. That is enough water that you can have. Like you said, the water table is high, so we'll have like surplus availability of water that is pumped to the storage tank up there that can be distributed among people. So we understand the thing about conscientizing people. Like I live Douazon, so I know how is it in how the rainy season is like there. Like you said, the increase of bacteria due to the availability of too much water across the season and so. But I think with the storage, because it's an entire like a mini setup. I don't want to say a plant. A plant would sound more like that of white plant or so forth. It's like a mini setup. So the UV light is something that will like regularly purify water that is distributed. Like you see, we're distributing water on 4 different fronts. It's not like we have one center that everybody go to. So they only have access to purify water that has been like purified through whatever means that is set up there.
Okay. At the risk of asking I want to ask a
Yeah,
question that has to do. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. And thanks to the team for a wonderful presentation. My question follows in line with Lawrence's question. My question has to do more with sustainability and scalability of your product or your prototype. The question is in twofold. Number one, what is the feasibility of acquiring the UV light and other components of your prototype solution in Liberia? And follow up to that is this something that is scalable beyond Dua zone? And how easy is it for these communities to acquire such a product?
All right. So first, the first question is around the availability of UV lights, right? Okay. So we did the market research, short market research around the UV light. It costs around between $200 to $1,000, and like he says, it's in operation for like 10,000 hours. So we did the math around that too, is around 416 days or so. So that is slightly over a year. So, and another question you asked around, I think was around scalability. If you look at the distribution, the last slide, the one we're on right now, we have from the filtration chamber here, we have this going into the community. If you look in the map here, you see water tower filtration. So it's like we have pipes running to different stations, like mini stations from the main setup that do the purification and the overall distribution. So those small stations, they are set like in strategic position in the community that people can easily access, because what we're trying to solve here too, again, along the way, is to ensure that the vulnerable population is not being exposed to physical harm. We're trying to get water, and just those small stuff in between. So if we have, for example, 50 houses to a particular substation, that should be fine. The scalability is there's already an existing structure. If we have to move this to another community, all we have to do is extend the substations, like just get another substation and extend the pipelines.
Also, I would like to point out the other point is like we will also need to then go for the measurement, like what is the basic problem. Like now here we identified as FE and biological contamination, but other areas it could be something different. So we also need to have the water quality parameters. Here we were focusing only on FE and the pathogen removal. So this can be scalable depending upon the water quality parameters also. What are the groundwater parameters?
All right, guys, thank you. This is William, one of the judges. So I have a question, actually. Now, just tell us what could easily go wrong here in implementing this technology, and it's really looking at some of the risks and challenges you might encounter doing this stuff. What are some of the things that can easily go wrong, like I said, and what are the measures you're going to put in place or you have in place to make sure that those things, are solvable? Hope you understand the question.
Yeah, it could be I think the loss of the filtration chamber could be like the capacity or the efficiency could be reduced. It could be possible with if we have a high Fe content over a long period of time. Could be difficult, like we need to manage that. Also, if we have some disturbance in the UV, like the lamp loses its lifetime or something like this, we need that, like these 2 points would be very difficult, or would be a problem during the implementation of the project.
And some of the measures that you're going to put in place for that?
Okay, yeah. So measures we would like to, like UV light can be replaced soon. It can be, but for the filtration media, that is like that's because we need to completely remove or perform a backwash, like remove remove the deposited or iron on it inside it, then we need to change the filter media completely. And for that, we need to have an in place already stored media, filter media, which can be replaced soon to avoid any like pauses or something in future.
Thank you.
Can I ask just one final question? Taking a look at the components of the solution that you've proposed, how accessible are they on the local market? And if there's one thing COVID has taught us is to know that at some points we will see, or we have seen, ports closing, borders closing, and countries having to look within for their own resources. So in the event that we do have a solution like this up, how sustainable is it using Liberia's own resources? Over.
So, Anthony, would you like to have the field?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Another alternative for the ozone generator that is at the top to oxidize and ensure that so it's like once we have aerated water, that means the mixture of water and air, it is clear that the iron content will dissolve. It's like iron oxide. It's like just chemistry. The iron content will dissolve from the top. So the problem we will have now is how to purify for biological contamination. That could be done by our traditional method we've been using. That is just in case that we can't get those sophisticated or technological structures yet. I mean, we have to go back to the chlorine infiltration, like where we infiltrate chlorine into the boreholes to ensure that they are free of biological contamination or pathogens.
Thank you very much. Fellow judges, any more questions?
Not at this point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Team One.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we will just take, fellow judges, have you logged in your scores? Can we move on to Team Two, or do you need a little bit more time?
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Less than 1 minute.
We're on it. Yeah.
Just a minute. I was trying. I was marking my score on the paper. So I can, 1 minute. All right. So. All right. So, yeah. So I did my first school. You know.
So are we ready to invite Team Two to present?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great. Okay, so we're ready to hear Team Two's pitch. Over to Team Two.
Hello, everyone. Hello, can you hear me? My name is Christina. Sustainable hackers. Our focus is on the southeastern part of Liberia. We're counting in district number 1. We are focused on 4 towns. Imagine living in a place where you don't have access to Google. And the only water sources that are available for you in that town are ones that are already safe or clean for you to use. The storage for our young guy named Jacob, who one of the towns of consideration was named after Jacob's town. Jacob was the face of his community. Jacob advocated in so many ways for a large infrastructure to come to his county. Unfortunately, Jacob died in service, and he didn't make to receive the implementation of everything he worked for in his county or in his town. Like Jacob, so many women, children, unborn babies, adults are at risk today of dying from waterborne diseases in rural Liberia. 10 sustainable hikers are here today are unleashed to find solutions to these problems that are facing Liberian people, the world at large, with a specific focus in rural Liberia using local resources that are available. For a solution, we decided to focus on local materials that are available and local manpower. So our system we want to introduce is the steam filtration method using PVC pipes that are locally produced, barrels that are locally produced, sand that is available in the county, and gravel that is in the county. For implementation purposes, we have thought to use local manpower that are people that are available in the county or within the town. We will be conducting training of trainers for these people because we want them to take ownership of this filtration method that will be used and also be introduced on waste management within their community. So as next step, we are thinking of working with local partners, local NGOs that are implementing water solutions in the county like WaterAid, the UNICEF, UNDP, Water of Life, Water for Life, and other partners. As a startup, because all of the materials we want to use are locally made, we need $300. That is to get the local materials. We are focusing on a more sustainable solution and we want it to be scaled because Jacobtown, the place under review in District 1, there are over 1,500 persons just living in neighboring towns. Children, women, unborn children, all of them are at potential risks. So our solution is to focus on using the local resources, land, and the available tools. I'll stop here.
Christiana, for me, I think I lost your slides. They were not moving. Was it with everybody else?
Yeah, same here. So can I ask that for this team, we actually, if you can possibly, Christiana, start your presentation again because we missed your slide relating to the problem that you've identified and everything else. So it skipped directly from your intro slide to your solution. So everything else in between.
That was because the slide was shared with you already, so I was just focusing on the solution. Okay, so I'll go step by step.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, we are sustainable hackers. The problem we identify in rural Liberia, community dwellers lack access to safe and clean water. So I told a story about Jacob who died in service advocating for clean and safe water for his county. Why they lack access? Because they don't have knowledge on local purification methods for the water that is available to the county. The only road leading to these towns owner review are footpaths. So it is hard for you to construct borehole there. So these are statistics of work that are being done in Liberia. UNICEF says 10% of Liberia have access to safely managed water. But in the place we are talking about, there is no infrastructure development there. So the only water that is available to them are the ones that are in creeks and rivers nearby. As a solution, sustainable hikers decided or have decided to introduce a slow steam filtration method. Why? Because we want to use the local manpower that are available, that is the men, because there are over 1,500. Why we want to use a solution, there are locally made tools that are available there. Like in Liberia, we will find the PVC pipes. They are still available in the community because it's in the southeastern part, they have beach sand. In towns where the beach sand cannot go, they have river sand and gravel. We are using the locally made barrels. Like, okay, I will just slide on to, you just minimize you. So here we have locally made barrels that can be used. So why we want to use this system, because we wanted to be sustainable in an event that there's a crisis. We want these things to be procured on the local market, because we don't want the situation of Jacob, who was advocating for a wash infrastructure for his community, died in service. Like Jacob, so many women, children, unborn babies are at risk. So there's potential threats. So how we are going to do this, we are going to work with men training of trainers. We are going to work with local partners that are on the ground, like Water of Life, Life Water, to find ways in which we can implement this using the local manpower. They have people that have knowledge, so they are just waiting. We ask them what's the problem, and they said they just need training on what they can do with the available resources that they have. And then the last slide is the implementation stage, as I was talking, awareness on proper sanitation, because we want any system that will be introduced there, that the water should be properly managed. So the TOT will be for the community dwellers. How we are going to do this, to work with local partners and see how they can help in their establishment, to see how we can establish partnership with them and sell this idea so that we reduce the local threats, that is waterborne diseases. That's the last slide. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Christiana, and many thanks to you and your team. Fellow judges, do you have any questions?
Yes, thanks, team 2. I think this is Lawrence here. I think you guys did well. I think like the both teams have presented, and I'm looking at the context very well, and I'm figuring out how can a sand filtering method works in Liberia, especially in rural communities like in Grand Cru, when you show those water that all of us who have worked across this country do understand that sand filtration will only get rid of, it will clean the color, but it might necessarily not kill the bacteria. How do you take care of the bacteria that will cause much more harm, and not just bacteria, but other microbes that will cause harm to the body? How are you taking care of that in this? I didn't get it. Maybe others do understand, but can you walk us through how that works? The scent takes the color away, but the bacteria still lives.
Okay, so the first step to the purification is the sand filtration method. So in Grand Cru County, the community have rivers. So after filtering the water, the next step will be boiling. You stop.
Sorry, you show us, can you go to the slide that has the solution with the barrel? Yes. How can you use the sand? You said the gravel will be arranged in this barrel. And how, if it is arranged and is finished, how are you going to boil this water when the kids are already taking this water and they are going to drink it right away? How are you explaining that?
Okay. About training.
So just come in a little. Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, we are here. We are listening.
I'm Otis from Team 2.
Okay, go ahead, Otis.
Okay, the solution you see in front of you is a slow sand filtration methods that have been used around the world, and they continue to be used even locally in Liberia. What we're trying to do here is that we're trying to use local solutions, things that can be sustainable today or tomorrow, that we will not depend on funding or international partners or to fund this project out. So this process here is very easy. The first process is that if you have you build the system out the same way we build the boreholes. Every borehole that you bore has a sea gravel at the bottom of the borehole. It's the same thing you see here. What we do is that we first will put in the sea gravel to the bottom. From there, we put in a sand. Now, when you add the water, what happens is that the sand will first filter out the water. Now, to get the more acceptable drinking water is safe, is have a go through that seed gravel like what we do in the boreholes. Every time we drill wells, what we do is that we attach seed gravel to it. Everyone know that. We attach seed gravel to filter out.
Otis, hold on. Otis, hold on. No, guys, please hold on. What we're trying to do is trying to find a solution for communities, and the solution must be very much able to be seen and heard by all of us on this table, but then be effective in the field. The question I ask is just simple. If the sand will get rid of the water, it will filter the color.
Yes.
How does it treat the water to be able, by looking at this barrel, how can it take and kill the microbes? That's the question.
Okay, let me come in.
Let me answer.
I will not, I can speak to that.
The filtration system is to filter out the debris from the water. That's just the first part of the system. The second portion of it, that's where we come in with the training of trainers. So after filtration, the water is not available to drink now. The water is now safe for boiling because it has gone through the first phase. So after the filtration method takes place and then you have held the water, the next phase is boiling the water before use. That's why we share with you working with the community dwellers. We want them to understand the system so they can teach their children it. So there are different levels and uses for the water that will be filtered through that. So if it is for washing, that is good. For another component of it is for the drinking aspect, which is boiling. We are just trying to use things that are available to us. So the next step of this system is the boiling of the water that will be held from the or collected from the system.
All right, thank you.
So thank you, Christiana, I mean, and the rest of the team for the presentation. You know, the issue of water has been a very long issue problem in Liberia, specifically filtration. We know that during the time of the conflict, after the conflict, you find freshener filtration happening all around Monrovia and some of it in Barra. But my colleague has a very important question, and I think I just have a follow-up to that question on the issue of during the time of the process, what can be done to treat the water? Because you made mention about there will be a second phase wherein there will be treatment of trainer. But then the other part of the question is, assuming that your solution is that we have to graduate from this stage to another stage. Then now the question here is, assuming that you tell people to boil the water and they don't care to boil the water because they think that they don't have the equipment to boil the water, or they're not prepared to boil the water, or they want to use the water very fast and they don't boil the water. What are you doing? What mechanism are you putting in place so that even assuming they don't boil the water, that the water can be purified? I mean, that is just what we want to know. You know, because the fear is, are you getting me?
Yes, I want to say quite clear. I am vastly aware of water purification methods. At Live Waters, what we do mostly is that as a water expert, there is no borehole you will bore using sea gravels. Nowhere in the world. I'm saying this because I have water expert on this team. I have people that are listening to me and know what I'm talking about. Every borehole we bore around Monrovia, around the counties, we use sea gravel at the bottom. If there is no sea gravel, you can never have a hand pump. I'm telling you this for a fact because that's what I do. This system you see here, when you see the graph you see here, that is not your pictorial form. On a you'll see gravel. If you are looking at the PowerPoint presentation that is on your screen right now, you'll see gravel there. You see what I see, Lawrence? Yes, that gravel will automatically filter all that water. Even if you want to boil it, you can still boil it, but you can also even include chlorine in it also too. It can also filter germs and bacteria. That can be another solution to the problem.
So they're asking what can we do next? Now you being water expert or not?
No, I'm just saying it because I have water expert on the team, and I just saying of a fact. I'm not speaking my mind. And people on the Georgians here that they are expert to water. They know what I'm talking about. They can debunk the attitude, the argument. See, so I'm not guessing. See, I'm saying.
Okay, guys. This is William. Apologies again. I think in the beginning I kind of missed some slides, so it was difficult for me to understand. But again, Christina had to go back and do the stuff for us. Just to make one point clear, so what you said just now about, so we are not all water expert, and so when you're doing the kind of presentation, it's important for you to really make it very simple for us to understand in terms of the solution. It's very important because then we need to understand. You think about the people you're going to do it for, who probably have, low education, and so it's important for people to understand because you're going to do a TOT in the community. It's very, very important for people to understand. Now, that was just one concern for me in terms of this boiling that's going on, and I hear boiling. Where is that happening here? Can you show me exactly where the boiling part come in? Or can you maybe explain the whole boiling thing? Because I heard boiling from you and Christina as well. So I just want to get some clarity. Where is that boiling thing happening? And maybe if you can show me, that would be fine. Thank you.
Okay, what happened was that we were limited to 5 slides. So there are a lot of things that we wanted to include in our presentations that couldn't be included because of the slide limits. So you will not see the issue of the boiling and solutions here, because there are a lot of solutions we came up with, or because of the limitation we had, we just couldn't include it. But presenting and explaining in our explanation, we can also include that. Now, we get 2 solutions. After this water is filtered out and it is being cleaned for, provided the sand first, under this barrel you see at the right hand, or I don't know how your computer is placed, there is a sea gravel. Now, even if that water comes out, there is still a need, which we didn't include in the solution because of the slide limit. Like I said, there is still a need for boiling, or even in additions of chlorine to better make it purified for drinking. So we are limited by the slides. That's the reason why we didn't include it yet. But also including our explanation.
Hello?
Yes, Christiana, go ahead.
Okay, so a clearer picture of the system is a pipe runs from the water source to a holding center. That is the sieve or the gravel filtration system. Another pipe connects from the system to a barrel where the water filter from the system is emptied into. So within that system, there are 2 things you can do. If it is for household use, like taking bath and washing dishes, it is safe to use at that point, so you can use it. But there's another barrel connecting to that one to another location. For that location is where we introduce the drinking point. So at that drinking point, we will develop a pot, a pot that can be used to heat that pot. So if we're using a jerry can for the first and the second, a tin will be a container that we can instill fire under to disinfect that water for use. So that's the idea around it.
Okay, thank you, Christiana and team. Fellow judges, do you have any questions, or are you ready to log in your scores?
I think we're ready from here.
Please go ahead and log in your scores. Can we get it done in about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes? Because I'm sure team 3 is anxiously awaiting to present.
Sure. Mato, is there any reason why my submission is not going through?
Let me check back quickly. It should be able to go. So we're trying to sort it out, but in the meantime, you can be noting it, and you can still you still have time in the judges room to make the submission. Please note it.
Sure, I've already noted them and with relevant comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we go to team 3, please? Team 3, over to you.
I think team 2 needs to stop sharing so that team 3 can share the screen.
Thank you. Let me just put on the slide. Hello, we are team 3 addressing male discharge in Yekepa in Liberia. So our problem statement, our users are the Yekepa community and other neighboring mining communities and villages. The user needs the existing water and environmental policies to be implemented so that the local mine does not discharge raw waste into the environment and negatively impact the public health. And the insight is that there is no political will to oversee and manage the mill's adherence to the existing environmental regulations with regards to wastewater disposal. As well, we have local communities that do not have adequate knowledge in order for them to make the mining mill accountable to the wastewater regulations that are existing. So just to give you a brief a background of our users, there is Yekepa, and they are nearby, excuse me, they are nearby villages, the likes of Gapa and Solowi, and the population, an estimated population is about 25,000 people. So the problem that we have is that we have an iron mill discharges into the water bodies, which are not in line with current existing environmental, water, and health policies. And because most of the mill there and other operating mining companies are foreign, so I find that they are not adhering to the existing water disposal regulations. So the health effects of that, there is lead poisoning, arsenic poisoning, and mercury poisoning that is coming from the water discharge, causing birth defects for newborns and other developmental defects for children. So the solution that we have presenting at this moment is an incentivization program and platform. So it's we named it One Platform, Three Functions. So this is an online platform that provides water surveillance statistics and from the mining industries and a scorecard. So this will help to know the levels of pollutants that are being discharged into the nearby water resources. And the same platform, we have got a database that will be created inclusive of existing water surveillance statistics. This will help the government in incentivizing wastewater byproducts. So here, our database will provide the government with some information on how they can incentivize wastewater byproducts, which I will explain later on in the presentation. And then thirdly, the platform is also will be used as a community awareness learning database, whereby citizens and residents will be able to get information with regards specifically to water and water pollution. So the public impact is that 25,000 Yekepa citizens will have an increased water environment health and availability of research data to make an informed public health decision, and will be scalable as well to other mills and industries in Liberia because mineral extraction is one of the leading economic factors in Liberia. So with regards to what you said in the previous slide, the software and the hardware creation will use the team and the team's networks to come up with a well-coordinated water surveillance statistics, and to be able to measure and to award the industries as according to the scorecard. Government campaigns will work as well with the existing Liberian Environmental Protection Agency, as well as other WASH NGOs that are already existing to pitch the idea. So the incentivization is that the government will help in incentivizing wastewater products, byproducts such as phosphorus and nitrogen that can be adopted by agricultural farmers in the area. Thirdly, the team will train community members to use community interface. So the trained community members will be taking some of their training catalogs from the database, the online platform as well. So our solution overall aims to change behavioral practices with regards to the disposal of wastewater by bringing the industries, the government, and the residents in one platform for interaction, as well as to finding feasible ways to preserve water bodies and reducing wastewater disposal. I think we have come to the end of our presentation.
Thank you, Team 3. Judges, any questions?
Well,
Yes,
I only have one complaint. And my concern has to do with the I'm polite, sorry. So my concern has to do with the issue that has to do with political will. I just want you to be specific to define in this case, what is political will? I mean, who is supposed to be responsible for this? Are you talking about the social corporate responsibility? I mean, in fact, institutions that have been taking on these things, trying to release the kind of a bad product, which is creating negative externality for the people in the community. We don't have a situation where we will give the kind of carbon taxes or bad product taxes to the company. So what political will are you talking about? Are you talking about the political will from the parliament or from the superintendent or from the lawmaker? I mean, can you just be clear and tell us what political will specifically do you want to be instituted in order to make this one a very good one for us?
With regards to the political will, we initially want to engage with the local, the district councillors, that are local in those areas, so that because as it stands, these mining companies, when they started, they had approval from the government and the regulations, and they had those checks. But then the problem then stems from the local councils and regulators on how they are managing them and overseeing them. So with political will, we are trying to engage, or we are referring to the local district representatives in Yekepa and the surrounding villages.
Thank you, Tafazwa. Luther,
Yes.
fellow
Yeah.
judges, any more questions?
Yeah, I have one question. Thank you very much for the brilliant presentation. My question has to do with when you were doing your basic need assessment of the issue. Did you find out if anyone has done something similar? And then the follow-up to that is it in your plan to make sure that if there's something similar that's been done, to work with existing structure so that you can find the right partnership to scale this further beyond even Yekepa?
Okay, yeah, so from our research we did on, yeah, so there are no available data on people who, there are no available data on people who
Please turn off the volume on the other computers around you.
So there are no available data on people who are let's say, carry on these technical projects. So this is an opportunity, this is an innovation that we are anticipating of introducing to Liberia, especially in Yekepa District number 3. And this hasn't been done, and because why this hasn't been done, there are no available data as to who have done it or where it have been done or completed. But then this is the information that we want to engage community dwellers with to make an informed public health decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. I see William has a question.
Yeah.
So William, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Well, it was in connection to Valerie's question in terms of political will, but slightly on the policy side. Now, you mentioned in your presentation policy, to be implemented around this. Did you guys find out whether any policy already existing, or I know I saw that there was existing policy, but there was no implementation strategy or whatever. So you see, we're trying to solve a problem. Now, this is a great platform. You can set up, collect all the data for informed decision, as you say, But again, how do we get from that point where that informed decision now comes to implementation, where actually that problem does not exist? This is a nice platform you present, but at the end of the day, where is the enforcement? And then Ali talk about the political will. How do we ensure those things are happening? What is the strategy that you're going to present to the community members to say, this is what you need to do now to ensure that this doesn't happen? I mean, because it seems to me like a great, nice platform that we just present, and at the end of the day, things get stalled because then, there's no political will, or the policy are not enforced. It's a nice policy on the books, but nothing gets done. And I'm saying it because, again, we see it in other sectors here that have nice policies on the book, but in terms of implementation, that's where we have the problem. And that's why, things are still behind, we're lacking behind a lot of things here. And that's where I wanted to understand, what is it you're thinking on how can we enforce these things to make sure it's happening? Because it seems like you did a great job from step 1 to step 3, but then step 4 and 5, that's where we have some challenges. Over. Thank you.
Yeah, so we, as part of the implementation framework, we will be working with line ministry and agency, that is those people charged with the responsibility to regulate sanitation activities along concession areas. So we get the government involved. There's a public-private project and initiative that we are anticipating to impact on. So for example, one of those regulators that might be involved with the project is the Environmental Protection Agency, because they are major stakeholder when it comes to issues of environmental impact. And also the National Public Health Institute of Liberia also have a very key regulatory rules in that is they have a revised law, chapter 21.2, that talks about ensuring that the environment is safe and clean so that all Liberians can benefit. So the laws are there. It's just require us working with them to help improve the system, because this is what every government would want to go for. So we reach out to them through a public-private partnership to convince them that this is the idea, this is what we want to use. We want to inform your decision making. So can you please buy the idea? And the private, the government will be involved. We will be involved, we're implementing the program will be involved, and also the people that we want to affect positively will also be involved. And that could be done through what we call the public enlightenment campaign. Upon the launch of the app, we will conduct an outreach in those very affected areas along the concession locations to conduct public enlightenment campaign and awareness, informing them about how to actively assess and use the application that we are projecting. Thank you.
I have a quick follow-up question. Yeah, this is Luther again. Thank you very much. How do you intend to finance this? Is this an NGO or business? How do you intend to finance this? I see you have 3 pillars, you know, whether it's the data collection to create these statistics and scorecard, whether it's extraction of mineral from the wastewater, whether it's the community awareness program, which you definitely have to get soil on the ground to conduct these awareness activities and all of that. How do you intend to finance this?
I think it would have been a great option to make it an NGO, but I think to make it a sustainable initiative, I think it would be more inclined to the business, whereby we'll be generating or developing data and providing the relevant institutions such as the government when it's making a move in terms of adopting wastewater byproducts. Will be there to provide the adequate information that is needed and how they will have to go around the process of incentivizing that sector as well. And also in terms of water surveillance statistics, I think it's also something that we can as well provide as a service to the government so that it knows, or to EPA, so that it is able to ensure or to regulate such industries. So we were trying even to make it a more interesting initiative, in that the scorecards will bring in the industries, in that they will be interested to get as well a clean image in the market as well as on the government platform. So I think it's more inclined to business for it to be sustainable, in the fact that we'll be generating that relevant information.
Great. I think I got one quick question, and my question basically hinge on scorecards and their drawbacks. I think first I want to say thanks. You guys put a lot of thinking in this, like the other teams did. One thing I'm enjoying about this is the fact that every team is coming up with something that they find interesting, that they're they're happy about. The concern that I have is scorecards and statistics that you haven't shown, especially with our experience in mining areas and the way they pollute the water system, and if they're using cyanide or they're using mercury. So the question I want to ask is, how are you going to collect these data? Are you going to be testing? Are you going to be testing the water? If so, what will be the level of testing? If you say you are forming a database that you are doing private partner and public partnership. And then one thing I'm finding, you haven't talked anything about the company getting involved in this, but you're only talking about image of them reaching out to them. So how do you even start this whole conversation about scorecards? Because scorecards get very, very much more like the entity is trying to market itself out there as doing something good for the community. But how does the community benefit when the company, the lawmakers and local leaders and everybody, they are not being seen within this model? Could you make me and the other people understand how the scorecard is going to capture every stakeholder, is going to capture the voices of the citizens, and of course, how the data is going to be collected?
Okay, so with respect to data collection, there will be training for locals, that is people who know the area, people who interact, people who reside, as a matter of fact, in those locations that we want to target. There will be training for them, and training orientating them about the effective usage of the app and how to go about collecting data and what kinds of chemicals. And so all these things will be kind of embedded within the training. And when people that, let's say, health volunteers or water volunteers that will be providing the services by collecting the data will be trained adequately on the proficient usage of the data. So it's a citizen, also as you see, a private public, including the partnership on LEASH. So we formulated this. LEASH is ahead, is also partnering, and then we engage community dwellers, train them as to how to go about using the data.
But you're talking about an NGO concept with a business concept. How confusing is that? Because you're saying citizen-driven model, and citizen-driven model is normally the voice of an NGO project, but I heard your colleague talk more of a business model for sustainability. How do you merge the two ideas in terms of scorecards?
So obviously, with the model we are, and the model and level of innovation, we are, so we'll test several models first. And after testing those models, the one most feasible for implementation, engagement, outreach to people will be used. But then this is a plan, a solution that we have drafted and have come up with. So all we can say is we hold it as to what it is with respect to selling it out to the people, engaging people, getting citizens involved, and also improving the public health of Liberia through the data collected and the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals 6, 13, 11 is also highlighted. And also remember, Goal 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals talks about partnering to achieve the goals. So with these innovations, I think everybody is the conglomeration of all sectors, all aspects of society coming together, working together to achieve this thing as to how we can reduce water pollution associated with milling at concession areas.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Just to add to Lawrence said before we move forward, I know you made mention of this, the first of this kind in Liberia, but I'm very well aware of work that what it does. They've done some good work, especially around water point mapping. Some good data there. we should do some work with soon. So it'll be good as a recommendation to check in with Water Aid. They're also supporting the Watch and doing like
I'm not hearing him. I'm not hearing anything.
Luther, if you're not talking because we're not hearing you, so that we pass on the Vala for moving forward.
Luther, we can barely hear you.
All right, let's move forward. I was just making a recommendation. They need to check in with Water Aid and the Watch NGO. I think there's some work that has already been done in that field, and it'll be good to share some synergies within that.
Yeah, you're right, and I agree with you. I wanted to talk on the issue, the same thing on Watch. You know, Watch, quite recently I had some meeting with them. They've been doing extremely well in a particular field. So even in terms of stakeholders, Watch Commission should be one of the institutions that should be contacted in terms of getting some information. Yeah, EPA play a major role with respect to environmental impact analysis. But school and the Watch Commission, we have that role to really play in this kind of a discussion. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 3. And I know that we've gone over the allotted 4 minutes for questions, but I just have 2 relating to your proposed solutions. One, what are the technical resources and the level of expertise that's required for monitoring? And the second one has to do with sustainability. And this question that I've just asked you has to do with accessibility of your platform and the information in terms of how it can be inputted. The other one has to do with sustainability, which includes the costs for the software and not just the initial frontline cost of actually building it, but then of course the subsequent costs of maintenance. To ensure that the data is accessible and can actually effectively inform policy decisions and considerations. So once you answer those 2 questions, I think we can move on. Over to you, Tafadzwa and team.
Okay, thank you. I think for that, we were still finalizing, trying to really understand the telecommunication status in Liberia and trying to understand the most popular user interface with regards to the platform. But if you see for the 3rd point, we mentioned something about community-based learning and the database. We also wanted to put in suggestion boxes and online platforms, but we are not limiting them to an online. We'll also try and see, we're still juggling up that on how we can craft the platform so that it is accessible to everyone and at a cost-effective basis.
Okay, thank you. So fellow judges, if you just take a few minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes to enter your scores, and then we can move on. Thank you. In the meantime, can we ask exactly? Thank you. And team 4, please prepare. Judges, are we ready for the last presentation?
I am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so team 4.
Okay, team 4, we are waiting for our screen to be shared so we can commence this. The computer is icing up the wrong time. Okay, good evening, everyone. And this is WASH Solutions Network, and our focus is SDGs 6 and 13. Next. So as you see in the picture, this is Mary, and she has children. They use this quick water to bathe. They use it to drink. They use it to cook, and which is unsafe. And they still use the surrounding of this creek to practice open defecation without knowing the harm it poses to their health. Next. And as you can see in this picture, these are all substandard pit latrines, and this is West Point community in Liberia. So this is what these people have to use, and some of them don't feel safe using it, so they resort to defecating on the banks of the river or the river directly. And as you can see, this is just a shaft, and the feces go directly into the river. Next. For stats, we have diarrhea alone is responsible for 11% of global child deaths. That is according to Save the Children. And many more children suffer weakness and malnutrition as a result of parasites that interferes with the absorption of nutrients. It's also according to Save the Children, and the rest of the stats is included here. Next. For our solution, we decided to go with double pit latrine because it's a safe model. Why is it safe? It's safe because the second pit is used to decompose the content of the first pit, and it will be transformed into manure that will be used as fertilizer or even used for energy purposes. And also, this prototype is something new to Liberia. So we are following best practice. We did a research, and this is personally being done in India and Bangladesh. There's a link below this that you can click on to know more. So what is the sustainability aspect of this double pit latrine? Well, for the construction of this latrine, we will be using locals from the community, and we'll also be using local materials that is already here in Liberia. And this pit, the second part of this pit is a biodigester. That is just being, the content of the pit is being transformed into manure that doesn't have any effect on the environment, is environment friendly. So we will also be doing maintenance regularly. And then the community dwellers too will have access to the fertilizer that will be used if they want to use it. The people who have farms and other things can also use the fertilizer to make their soil more rich. And why doing the construction of this work, we will be taking into consideration the water level and climatic condition. Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. If I can take a stab at this first, Vala and team.
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent. I see I know every team has done something tonight that I'm particularly proud of. It is a lot of thinking going to it, a lot of energy, and there's a desire by young people to really immerse themselves into seeing changes in the community. Now I'm going to take you to your first image that you talk more about. You show us a rural community, and then you brought us to urban community where you show us the water source is not a drinking water source. It is much more a polluted water source. And in the rural context, if you really follow the context in the rural area, they don't defecate where they drink their water source from. So I just want us to get these kind of context right, because when we bring new ideas from outside, and you talk about the latrine and you talk good thing about manure, Liberians and the context and feces, how are you going to ensure that they are going to be using this manure, knowing that they see this coming from the latrine? What have you put in place that will show a better understanding and show to people that is much safer? And because in Liberia, you know, the context here is that people will not see feces and want to use it directly, and, you know, or manure from that. So how have you guys thought around this? I'm interested to know why you brought in a rural community and you juxtapose that with the urban community, and how the manure is going to be used by the locals. Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, initially, when we were working on our mural board, we identified 2 areas. We identified slums and we identified the rural areas. So our thoughts were, whichever way we start, that's what we will go with, or whichever one our donors want us to start with, that's what we are going to go with. So that's why we did it that way. And then for the manual part, we will do community engagement. We will have to educate these community members on the importance of the second pit. And we will also tell them that it has been transformed into something different, even though their feces went into it and they saw it and everything, but the second pit allow it to be into something different that can be used again.
Okay, just to add to that, you know, when the information is not sent out, you know what is it. So I would just say that probably right now with that concept that looking at feces, and then we tell people, say, oh, it can be used later. And then like they have that mindset. Right now, if we are going to go up having a capacity building team where we'll be able to help them, make them understand that, okay, once you take care of this place and everything has been done inside here, after this, there are people who are making farms who will take this from here and then carry it to them for them to use it. And these people will also let them know that it is always good that you take care of these facilities if you have it, because maintenance too comes. If you don't take care of your own thing, then it means that you are going to damage it, and then the environment might be affected also. So the key thing there is there will be a capacity building for them where they will be aware of it.
All right, just a quick follow-up, then
so I want to I want to comment. I'm a team member. Yeah, okay, Josiah is my name. So you spoke of us, you know, using a rural place and then a slum area. So with the team, we thought that all of these things are applicable in Liberia. You know, why it is true that in a rural area, the people don't practice open defecation, you know, along the riverbank, but you will notice that we have a rain season in Liberia. So when the rain falls, you know, definitely when the feces are on the surface of the, you know, the earth, the rainwater turn to wash them away, and definitely, you know, that can lead into the river source, and that could cause pollution. And then the other aspect that has to do with how we want to be seeing feces, then you are now telling them that this can be used like this way. So like you said, there will be capacity building that will be done, taking the public health approach, or taking all of the approach that will get the thing to understand, or the people involved to understand that this is something that is being practiced elsewhere, and this is what even those who are producing foods or these things XYZ use these things as a means to fertilize the soil, so they will be informed. And we want to believe that once they are informed, they will tend to take more care of it, because some of them might have farms in rural areas, in other places, that they want to take this this stuff from, and then use it to fertilize this area.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up, and then, like I said, I will just put down my pen. You talk about maintenance, and I don't know how often that will happen, but maintenance comes along with monitoring, and monitoring comes along with certain skills and expertise. How have you decided to do the maintenance, and how the monitoring will happen, and what the sustainability thereof will look like? And if you are monitoring, how often do you think one side will be filled, the other side will be filled, and the both sides? How you thinking about that? We just want to get the top processes that you put in this.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the questions. And Elijah Kebes, I'm one of the talent. All right. After we have done with the installation of the latrines, we're definitely going to have a weekly meeting on training and how to maintain the latrine. We're not just going to install and then leave it and go, no, because they don't have the basic concept in maintaining it. So we're going to be having our monitoring team that are going to be there monitoring it, teaching them on how to maintain the latrine on a weekly basis. No, I think okay, Timothy come in better move.
Okay, so with that, we are like, we won't just go there within the community and then go and then construct this latrine. But first, what we are going to do is we engage them. This thing is going to be for them. So we let them to take part and be part, see it like it is for you, it is my own self, and so I have to take care of it. That is the first thing we do. So when we are going, it wouldn't be like, oh, they have come, they constructed this, and then they left. That means that maybe when it spoils later, that's it, unless we go there. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to include them within the plan that, okay, see this thing as you are the one building it. Take care of it at your own house you're building. So that's the mentor we are going to use on that basis.
All right, so thank you very much. I just have
Okay, so for the maintenance, my teammates have said it, but one aspect I think we will show in it is having a volunteer that will look at the area, and then the people that will be using it can either pay a monthly due per household, that is affordable, so that when these things that are locally used or being used to make these places, when it's spoiled, they can be used to buy the money that they can raise from the monthly due that is affordable from the household can be used to buy these materials, so that for sustainability.
Hello, team. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Luther here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, yeah. Great. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I think these low-tech initiatives are very worthwhile in Liberia in terms of solving some of these local issues we have. My question is more generic. As a team, in terms of penetrating these communities that you will work in Liberia, what are the two most, what are the maybe I'll just say one, what is the greatest challenge you see in terms of penetrating the community as a team? What's your greatest challenge you envision?
Okay, I will start. One of the challenges will be what those people are used to doing, telling them that we are bringing something new to them for them to transition into a new level. I think that's one of the greatest challenges.
Now,
So can I come in now? I mean, sorry, I went. Oh, sorry. Continue. Sorry.
Can I come in?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So one of the another challenge we also we might encounter is people might first say if you carry the idea to them, they might see the idea, feel that it is their own thing, but at the end of the day, when probably we will be going and then leave our monitoring team like weekly, but within our week, we did be able to follow the guidelines we'll be giving them. That's the challenges we're trying to put in place.
Okay, for that, I would like to say the first thing that I think that will be the greatest challenge is the availability of maybe the land. In order for you to get the land from the individual, for them to like build or communicate things on it, where that's my land, that concept, that's my land. Oh, it's not mean that they are coming to like give this display, they want me to give it to them and they face the area, there's something for the whole community. No. So that is one of the greatest challenge. And then the maintenance area, because when you do these things and then you leave, and there are a lot of unfinished projects or projects that they are finished with, but then after 2-3 years, you see that the whole place is messed up. They have closed that place. The same process start again. They will start the rivers and things to go and start defecating there. So one of the greatest challenges is also the maintenance and the availability of the land.
Sorry, I went off. I was asking my question. Well, thanks for the presentation. I mean, very nice presentation. But then I have some reservation. You made mention about some cross-country analysis. You made mention about this model was tested in India and Bangladesh, and but then you didn't really tell what are some of the models really work in some of the African countries, because cross-country analysis is very good to know who your neighbor is. For example, I mean, we could say Sierra Leone, Guinea, Ivory Coast. So besides Indonesia and Bangladesh, you know, which other African area did you really notice that this model really work and then it was beneficial to the people? Then my next concern is, up to now, I don't know. I saw 2 photos. I saw one about one so water somewhere, and then later I saw West Point as a community. So my question there, because some of my colleagues made mention about this, the White Elephant Project. I mean, White Elephant Project is a project wherein you put it somewhere, then nobody use it tomorrow, because it just you spend your money on a project, then tomorrow nobody goes there, nobody use it, because apparently it's not the people that need it at all. So which community specifically do you think that this project can really be beneficial to them? So my first question is, which country in Africa you think the project work? And my next question, which community in Liberia specifically do you think that this project can be very achievable?
Okay, thank you so much. Our research covered that of India and Bangladesh. We weren't able to do other research on African countries, but we think that's a good point, and we will take that into consideration. And then let's say, we believe and we know that this project will work perfectly in the West Bend community firstly.
Yeah, I want to comment on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bangladesh is a third world country. In Liberia, not being far from that is a third world place too. So we understand that they are more like on the same page when it comes to this open verification stuff and the issue of lack of quality water. So that's why we use their prototype, seeing it being more applicable in Liberia because they are both third world countries. So they have some similarities in common.
Okay, guys, maybe for me, very quickly for me, just to follow up on Luther's questions about challenges. Now, can you concretely tell me how you're going to, what are the measures, what are the strategies to prevent those challenges? Just concretely, the things you mentioned about one, whether people is going to use it or not, but those challenges that you encounter, can you just tell me quickly what are the measures that you're going to put in place to make sure those challenges are encountered?
Okay, thank you. Firstly, as my teammate Elijah said, we will have monitors on the ground, whether daily or weekly. People will always be there to make sure the community members are using these facilities in the right manner.
Okay, I think if I get the question, you are asking how are we going to get rid of the challenges, right? Well, in everything you do, there will be a time, there's a certain thing that everything won't just be smooth. So with challenges, we expect the challenges and we know it. So we are going to prepare ourselves in the sense that first day, if I tell you that I need to build this facility here, and then you are telling me that you can't give us the land. Okay, we'll negotiate. We will first start with negotiation to see how best we can convince you, see that this thing, it is coming to you. You didn't look for it. We are bringing it to you. So we want it to be for you and make use out of it. So we'll start negotiation to see how best we can get the challenges to be clear.
I want to come in. Yeah, so in summary, I think we will get the people involved, that is people that will be using this, those facilities, they will be more involved in terms of the workforce, we will use them, in terms of the maintenance, we will use them, so they more see it like their own. So with that being done, I think most of what we see or we will be projecting to be a problem will not actually be a problem once they are fully involved into the process.
Thank you, judges. Any more questions?
Not from here.
Okay.
I think my final follow-up question to the team will be, do you envision any partnerships specifically with government entities? And
yeah, sure.
We are open to sponsorship. We are open, our hands are open.
Oh, I know you open to sponsorship.
Okay, yes. Let me answer it. Yeah. We hope to work with the Environmental Protection Agency, the National WASH Commission, and other international agencies or NGOs that are involved in the WASH activities.
Follow up, is this an NGO or business?
This is an NGO.
I'm not sure your NGO or your business.
This is an upcoming NGO. It is an upcoming.
There's an NGO.
As possible.
This is an NGO.
As soon as possible, we'll let you know.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you too. It was a nice one with you.
So maybe, are there any more questions, fellow judges?
No.
Okay, so maybe just one from my side. Thank you for an excellent presentation. you've thought through it, and I have to say all the teams have presented. This is a really tight competition. Can you let us know what you envisage or anticipate will be the cost of installing the double pit latrines? Did you look at the cost side of it? Over.
Josiah, please address that. Josiah is our technical guy.
Yeah, so with the use of locally made material, though we didn't do something like a window shopping, but we know that most of the things we'll be using will be, more like things that the people themselves can, can produce. So from a locally made perspective, we are not thinking that it will be too, exacerbated in terms of the price. It will be something that will be affordable from an affordable amount. It's something that even when it's sport, the people using it itself can ride it around and then fix it. It'll be something more like affordable.
So now, Franklin will
Okay. With that, we are going to like all the questions.
What's the ceiling?
Okay. That is why we didn't go about taking things that is like coming from outside the country. So we are using materials that are within the country. So I don't think that it's going to cost us a lot. But always every project you have to have a budget, which of course when the time comes, we are going to make the budget and then work towards this year we'll get funding for that.
Okay, thank you. So I think that we've seen and heard presentations that now we need to think about and see how best we figure out the winning pitches. You've all done so well, and you've made our job so difficult. But I think from our side now, we're ready to head back to the judges' room, think through this, and then we'll come back to you all in a few minutes, we hope. But thank you all very much for your presentations and for your hard work over the last 48 hours.
Okay, thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Vala. Right, guys. Yeah, thank you guys, and put us in our room so that we do this.
First, can you please activate the breakout session? Only the judges and myself will be going to the judges' room. Only the judges. Everyone remains in the room. Please go ahead, host. Activate the breakout rooms. Only the judges are leaving the main room. No one leaves the main room. Only the judges and myself. Okay, thank you.
But you're using our room to break out.
Yes,
we all stay in here now. And while the judges are trying to finalize the scores, we want to discuss with you next steps. And what comes afterwards. Crystal? Are you there?
Hello, I'm leaving this room. I don't know how can I go to the judges. Can you just add me there?
You will see there was pop out an invite on your screen. Did it come? Saying go. Okay, I can try to put you. I can try to put you there.
Can you please send mine as well?
Okay, Luther.
I'm here. I'm still here from team 1. I'm still here.
Yes, you don't need to go to a breakup room. You just stay in the main room. Only the judges are going to their breakup room.
Okay.
And the rest of us are here, and we talk a little bit about what comes next.
So while we about to talk about what comes next, please, Talis, if you haven't filled up the Google form, solution form on the mirror board with your solution, kindly please do that. because it's also part of the next step as well. If your team haven't done that, please remember to do it. And on the main mirror board, we have a page there that says Vision for SDG 6 in Liberia and testimonials. So we have had 2 days of hard work. If you want to write something of how the entire process was, please feel free to do that as well. It's all on the main mirror board. Thank you.
Yes, that would be good, Barry, if you could do that.
Sure. Okay. So everybody, I'm gonna share my screen and show you a quick trailer of a video that's on it's on Netflix now, and it's something that I showed. It's called Brave Blue World, and it's from touring around 5 continents and some of the great water successes that that we've seen. And there's a couple of, in the full documentary, there's a couple of good examples in Africa, including a company called Sanovation. But so I'm just going to show this, share my screen, and let me make sure that I can share computer sound and this one. So you can see what it's a 2-minute long trailer of the video.
Tomorrow we cured cancer, and in 100 years there were still 1 million kids dying of cancer. It would be unthinkable, but that's the situation we find ourselves in with water.
By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in water-stressed regions.
We are reaching a perfect storm in terms of water.
The reason you need to care about the water crisis is because it's going to directly affect you and your family. We're on the brink of being hopeless, but we're not there yet.
We break down the barriers between people and safe water and sanitation.
We envision a day when everybody has access to clean water and sanitation, and we envision that in our lifetime.
People who are really struggling with drought or deteriorating water quality, those are the people on the edges and the fringes that are really innovating.
We just came from a very dry season, so this was the only source of drinking water for these children.
The water we have today is the water we've always had. We use it and then we throw it away. Nature doesn't do that.
Everything that you need to stay alive except carbon is in your waste. It's in your feces, in your urine, and in the breath that comes out of you.
Toilet to tank is really what we're doing here. It was always my dream. I can take my wastewater, put it in my car, and drive off into the sunshine.
It breaks my heart that we have the solutions and then we can't get them out fast enough.
This can happen in our lifetime. This has to happen in our lifetime, or we are looking at a very different world for our children.
How lucky are we that we're the ones who get to solve this? In 100 years, people are going to wish they were alive and they could solve a problem this big.
So that movie is on Netflix and translated into 29 languages right now. I don't know if you saw a couple of things in there that are really relevant for Liberia. The balls of charcoal, that's a company in Kenya called Sanovation. And what they do is they actually have, what they call blue buckets. They go in and get latrines, household level latrines, and go on a weekly basis and collect that from each individual house. So it's not a public, it's not a shared one, from each individual one. Then they mix the feces with the agricultural residue and you do solar drying and actually make charcoal that burns 3 times as long as regular charcoal. And that the sale of the charcoal actually pays for that whole service. And it's really engaging the local community. And one of the other ladies, Beth Kyoji from Magic Water, works on harvesting water out of the air, atmospheric water. And now that her technology requires a little bit more, requires electricity and everything. So generally you need to be in an electrified area, but some of these others don't even need to be in electrified areas. So they're perfect for rural things. But the cool thing about that movie, if you actually have Netflix or available to get it, and I know Anastasia's seen the whole thing, and I know Cicera has probably seen it, or at least the trailer of it. This is exactly what you are all doing, and why people why we all volunteer to do this, whether you're a talent, the facilitator, an expert, or whatever, is because the solutions are out there, the passion is out there, and the skill and knowledge exists everywhere, and we just need to harness it. And so this movie was put together to try to come up, to be uplifting, because we hear about all the challenges with water worldwide. And I will say one other thing, this movie got to get put together because of a group of people, about 30 people sitting in a room about 3 years ago, doing some brainstorming and design thinking like this. And somebody said, why don't we tell a positive story about water? And this one guy went over in Ireland, reached out, and finally it got through to Matt Damon. And Matt Damon said, if you can get to Davos by on Saturday, I'll give you a 2-hour interview. And so they flew over real quickly, got the interview from Matt Damon. Then Jaden Smith heard about this, and he asked to be involved in this. So and then Liam Neeson, because he's Irish, said, "Hey, I'm supporting this Irish development company." So he actually said, "I'll narrate it." And then there's a U2 song at the end of the video, and the U2 record company wouldn't allow them to use the music. So Liam Neeson texted Bono from U2 and said, "Hey, dude, can we use this song?" "Sure." And so they got in it. So this thing that came around with 30 people sitting around a room like we're doing now, it ended up coming up with a $600,000 budget to do the movie. The stars are you. The stars are all the water professionals of the world. You know, it helps to have Matt Damon, Liam Neeson, and Jaden Smith's names to kind of draw some of that, but the real stars are you, and it's uplifting. And whether it's a small atmospheric water harvesting in Kenya, or the L'Oreal factory that is doing much better high-tech water resource management in their factories in Mexico, or in Chennai, and doing stormwater harvesting in Chennai, and anywhere in between. There's solutions out there that regular people and water professionals like all of us are making happen. So I wish I could, if we had more time, I'd show the whole movie to you. It's a 50-minute movie, but I just hope that you realize that little teeny things like this, 30 people sitting around a room, can actually lead to big things, you know. So thank you for the opportunity to share that with you.
Yeah, I'm taking from Barry also some words for you guys. Actually, I was amazing 2 days and 40. I mean, it's less than 48 hours actually. So all of you did a great job, and looking at different aspects of the water and sanitation issues in Liberia. And it's really, I mean, I really enjoy with not only the team number 4, but also the other teams, as well as giving some inputs. And just keep this good stuff and make collaboration, work together. And because some of partners are coming from international, I'm especially amazed in your talents from India, Sri Lanka, and United States. So keep this network. It's very important because I remember that we started our networking from 2017, 18, 19, and Barry and Corina, we are working together, Samuel is working together. It's not unending hard work to go through this 2030 challenge, SDGs, to go to solve, and you are now of this chain. And be critical, work with the community, and always try to work with the community. That's most important, and giving the answer for them, because they are waiting for you and waiting for us. So this is the most important part. Otherwise, the elite people enjoy, academic get published, but that's not the real things. We need to support to the local people. And go to the local people, ask the question, and that is the most important, and work with them. Thank you for the organization team organizing this amazing 2 days, and thanks to all of you, OT, and great job, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Barry, and thanks to you also, Cicera. Any other one of the facilitators or experts who are here want to say some few words to the participants as we go towards wrapping up?
If I may,
Sure.
I want to say congratulations to the teams. I mean, they've done really amazing jobs. It's good to see young people come together and churn out such amazing ideas and solutions to solve the water challenges that we have. And just like Barry said, I mean, great things can come out of seemingly little effort or seemingly little things. I mean, it's great that we have this amazing platform to share ideas and share opportunities. Let's keep connecting with each other. Let's keep in touch, and let's keep investing in ourselves and in the solutions and ideas that we have spent these last 48 hours working on. And I do believe that we are going to come up with sustainable solutions, and by the time there's time for us to account on the SDGs in 2030, I do believe that we are going to have some amazing solutions from some of these people who have gathered here today to make sure that we achieve sustainable development in the water sector and in other aspects of life as well. Yeah, thank you. And I do hope that we get to meet again and get to collaborate on a lot more things. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Kobina. Thanks so much for joining us all the way from Ghana. I think I should have said Barry joined us from the US, Cicera joined us from Germany. We also had Kobina joining us also from Ghana. Quite a diverse team. Well, but that's what Unleash is about, right? Diversity.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So any other facilitator or expert wants to say a few words?
Sure. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to say awesome job, team. This was pretty intense, I think. We started right beforehand, like doing these assignments till 2, 3, 4 a.m. for the team and for the organizing team, for the participants and talents and the organizing team. And at the end of the day, it's all worth it because of what it's about. And I think that goes back to like what everybody else has been saying, what that movie Brave Blue World is talking about. Like, it's about us investing in the world for ourselves and also just seeing outside of ourselves, like for our posterity, for our kids. You know, we've lived it now and we've seen it around us, but we want to see better for the people behind us. And I think that everybody is just picking themselves up like by their bootstraps and just going at it really hard. And it's really inspiring. And I think it's incredibly inspiring. And I think I want to keep this energy going. Like, it's just 2 days Like I said, there's a couple days before, but I'm sure like everybody's got these ideas in their mind, and people have said it before, but I'll reiterate, like even if your solution isn't picked, all these solutions are awesome, awesome solutions. Like if we could have them all 4 happen, that would be great. And just like you have that Sanovation that was just somebody thought of it and decided to do it, you guys can literally just decide to do this stuff. And I say that to myself too, because sometimes it feels like you need an unleashed program to happen for you to think about, oh, how can I make the world better? When you have, we have 2 days now, but you have 365 days, 366 on a leap year, to be thinking about, okay, how can I bring all these positive things to light? And you've talked about the resources you'd use, we reach out to the EPA. You can do that on your own, you know what I'm saying? And so it's really great energy. I just encourage everybody to keep it going. Awesome, awesome stuff.
Did I get the impression that the judges were ready to come back?
Yep. I think so. And I'm taking my exit, guys. All the best. Good luck.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks a lot again, Lawrence, for being a part of this.
Excellent. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we will, if our judges are all back in, then we will hand the mic back to them and they can take it out from there. Please mute your mics to avoid the background noise.
Yes, so
I will hand it back over to Violet, who is our head judge.
So
thank you. Samuel, over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so
Yes.
so I can feel the tension in the room, man. All right, so Anna, quickly, so have we been discussing the next steps?
Yes, we've just been chatting among ourselves and saying some nice words for what comes after.
Okay.
And I think now we're all ready to hear a little bit from the judges' side.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, if they want to first say a few words specifying our hearts a bit before we get into the real deal.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. So okay. So I think so. Yeah. So Violet, I think they've been discussing the next steps, how we're deliberating. So over back to you. Probably can give a few words and then I can begin sharing the slides.
Okay. So teams, it's been a long session for you. It's been 2 days of working together and addressing, first identifying and then coming up with innovative solutions for Liberia in the areas of SDGs 6 and 13. And I have to say, the energy that I saw, the rest of us saw the first day is the energy multiplied by 10 that we're seeing now. Forget the fact that it's 8:16 p.m. here and later for others in other parts of the world. So congratulations, excellent job. You really made our jobs really, really, really difficult. And I want to pick up from where one of the other colleagues or participants was saying a few minutes ago, which is whether or not your idea is picked among the top 3, the ideas that we've heard today are viable, they are possible, they can be applied. They do need further interrogation because of course you've only done this in 2 days. Keep that fire, keep interrogating, keep reflecting, keep building the partnerships. You said it correctly, SDG 17 is partnership. Keep the partnerships part of it. Find like-minded, driven partners that you can work with to bring this forward. And I've just posted something in the chat to say, look, we have the solutions here in Liberia. Mama Liberia's future is bright, but it is as bright as you put into it. And with the energy that I've seen, I'm really excited. So I think I'll end there for now and I'll hand over to one of my fellow judges, and also to Samuel for the presentation, and then we will go ahead and announce the winning pitches in the order that we've agreed.
Yeah, who's that? Who's that? Who are you? Okay. Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
All right. So who's in that? So it's over to, is it William? William, I'm following your cue.
No, for team, yeah, it's gonna be Luther, no?
Yes.
Great.
Can
So
you hear
Luther,
me?
over to you.
So Lutz, I'm following your cue. Can I move? Can I go?
Please, can we cheer for them as well when they announce?
Yes.
So thank you very much and congratulations to all of the 4 teams. It's a pleasure and honor to announce the 3rd place award. Yeah, so get ready, Samuel.
I'm ready. Just give me the go.
Drum roll first. I think we need a little music. Yeah, drum roll.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if we go back to that, okay. So the 3rd place award goes to.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Please go, Samuel.
Can I go?
Yes.
All right.
So 3rd place award goes to Movement for Accessibility of Water and Sanitation in Liberia. We want to say congratulations to the team. You did extremely well, and we have the honor to say congratulations on behalf of all of the judges and the lead judge as well, and the Unleash hack team.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure looking at your wonderful solutions and prototypes, and we look forward to engaging further. Congratulations, more on the 3rd place award.
I'm waiting for your cue. Luther, you still there, right?
No, it's William now.
Yes, I'm here. Samuel, can you guys hear me?
I'm ready when you're ready.
I am ready.
Awesome. All right. Praise
okay, guys, I'd like to say thank you. I think, this was quite an experience for me also. Now looking at, this is a different activity. I've done a lot in entrepreneurship and SME development, although also trying to change something. And I think particularly for the different ideas, the different solutions, they were all amazing. Congratulations to everybody who participated. And this is the beginning point for you. I think there's a lot to do. There's more to do. All right. Hope you took our feedback and our question as a learning experience for you also to move forward in doing great things in the world. All right. I'm sorry because of my internet. I'm out in Nima also trying to do something to solve some problem. Yeah, but I hope you guys can clearly hear me very well. Now, second place, man. This was really tough. But anyway, at the end of the day, we had to judge. and it was all individual school coming together to find an aggregate. So on behalf of the head judge and the rest of the judges, including myself, I'd like to say the second place go to, let's see the name. Let's see the name. I haven't seen it yet. Young Washers. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I will wait.
Young Washers.
All right. Now. Vala, are you ready?
Yes. No, not really. Not really ready.
Okay, let's set him up a little.
It's about that time.
Some music.
Who's it gonna be?
That's the big question.
That's a real tough one there, right? It's a tough one for you, Vala.
A tough
the
one.
moment we've been waiting for.
Yep.
This has really been a tough competition. I don't know if Samuel has the drum roll. So am I ready to announce? Yes. And first place goes to Water Solutions Network.
God, be careful there now.
Can you play zombie for the time?
What zombie? Zombie. Zombie.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Young Water Solution Network.
Yes.
Nice. This is incredible.
Yes.
Can I say something to all the teams?
Nice.
So to all the teams, congratulations to all of you. The work that you've done in the last 2 days in terms of the research and working with. Yes, you did. Now you can use it. So the work that you've done in the last 2 days in terms of identifying the problem and the communities that you will affect
I'm there side down something. Yeah.
Working with the expert panel to identify solutions is incredible, it's commendable. And this is for all 4 teams. I just want to say, to whom much is given, much more is expected. And all 4 teams, all of you as participants, have had the opportunity to participate in Unleash Hacks 2020. You have ideas that are doable in Liberia. You have ideas that have won. We expect that you will work with the Secretariat and with partners to bring your ideas to life. And I am excited to see what you will all do with all your ideas. So on behalf of the judges and the organizing team that has done such a fabulous job at putting this together online and showing us what innovation is and what innovation can achieve. Just to keep working together, and together we can achieve the SDGs. So congratulations to all of you on a job very well done. Go out and make this happen.
So the presentation is not done yet. So the Bronze Prize Award, and you want to talk about this a little?
Yes, I can go ahead. So, team, I understand the excitement. We just want to share with you now on the awards. Maybe Samuel, we could give them a moment to celebrate. Can you stop sharing your screen and I can make them the spotlight? And,
okay.
And they can celebrate a little bit. Okay, so you can celebrate and let us see you celebrate. Please celebrate. Let us see you celebrate.
Can you see tears? I'm crying.
We did it, guys. We did it. We did it.
Okay. So they're the winning teams. They want to dance zombie. So we have to play at least 2 minutes of zombie.
Yes. Zombie, zombie. Zombie, let's zombie. Aha, I want zombie. Oh, what
you have to share your sound.
They're not hearing you.
Yeah, Samuel, you need to share your sound.
Maybe I can do it, Samuel, if the sound is not coming out.
DJ, zombie. Zombie. Watch one to zombie. Watch never one for zombie.
We won't ball jealous zombie.
Zombie.
We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie. We won't ball jealous zombie.
Okay. So I guess we can move on, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. You've giving us permission to move on.
No, play the zombie.
Oh.
No, play zombie.
Okay. Someone is
Okay,
it
we have to wrap up. Huh? And okay, you can play it from your end.
Crystal can do that.
I'm
Crystal,
not. I
please
think
go ahead.
the time is very late. We can just wrap it up. Congratulations to the team.
Do I play or are we wrapping up?
Let's wrap up, please. The time.
Hello. Can you just?
Hi.
Yeah. Crystal, can you play for us the zombie for a couple of minutes and then we move on?
So Annette, we have to proceed.
Is Crystal there? Okay. So do we want to? Crystal, can you get it to play or not? Okay, good. She's sharing now.
Blessings on blessings, you're coming blessings. These my blessings can all be touching. I know my level, my man, don't stress me. If my big bless me, so I'm here to party. I won't war, yellow zombie. I won't bought it, I crawl, yellow zombie. I cannot bring a yellow zombie. I got a party, people dancing, yellow zombie. Sanko, me, I want to do it like Paco. Wait, you look. Oh man, someone in the paper. The poor man, someone in the paper. I said nobody. I won't put it. I want you to go down low. I want you to find it slow. Mama, you rock the show. I'm ready to spend some more. And I'm gonna no sit down, I'm gonna check it. See, I see no.
Okay. Thank you, our DJ Crystal. Thank you so much. So we go now to the last part of the presentation and the closing. Samuel, can you put up the slide now? Thank you.
Right, thank you. So yeah, so the third prize or the bronze prize award is $500 cash, and the second prize award is $750, and the first prize, the golden award, is $1,000 cash, and of course it's conditioned, though it is you're entitled, it's conditioned to follow up and credible next steps implementation strategy. So of course the staff support and follow up, support for implementation of your solution to test it, and scale it up. Also, we just wish to announce that whilst going through the hackathon, we receive an additional commitment from the Water Environmental Federation. They'll be providing an additional $1,000 to us solution implementation. So that too, so WEF will consult with the organizing team and see, how teams can be supported as well, irrespective of whether they want, we're all winners, irrespective to see how some of the solutions can be implemented. So the Unleash Secretariat too will also be providing support through some of our partners like Chemonics and others. And also, UNDP has been with us throughout the hack, and they're really, really excited about the solutions coming up. And the partnership with Unleash is going to continue, and more teams are going to be supported in any way possible to implement some of this solutions coming out. So it's been an exciting, 48 hours, and it's been thrilling. It's been stressful, but it's been hectic. It's been classic Unleash for those of us who've been to Unleash. How tense and stressful Unleash is normally is, but then we really appreciate the talent, time. You can see the enthusiasm as they work together. And we really want to say thank you for supporting this, and thanks to our facilitators, especially who join us across different time zones, together with us for more than 8 hours. And special thanks to our lead facilitator who helped to coordinate and direct the overall innovation process, conduct, facilitating gate checks and everything. So I'm going to allow Annette to close. As of course, you can stay in touch. Annette, you can give some final remarks. Any other OT members can give some final remarks. Maybe one or two facilitators can give a remark, and we can get one or two things to say, and one or two, and we can close, if you don't mind.
Sure. I think
Over
I
back to you.
also want to give some time to the winning team to say something if they want to say a few words also to the participants.
All right.
First, we start with the winning team, and then the second place, and the third place, and the fourth team, and any other team members who want to make a comment. I think it's nice to give you a time now, participants. So let's hear from the winning team.
Yes, so
Good evening again, everyone.
good evening,
We
teammates.
are overjoyed to admit this is my first time shedding tears for such an event, and I'm so excited that we made it through. We want to say thank you to all of our facilitators. They did a good job for letting us to dive into their fountain of knowledge. We say thank you to the organizing team. We say thank you for your guidance. We say thank you to all the partners, iCampus, UNDP, and every one of you for doing your best to make sure that this event become a success. And we hope and pray that what you have given us, we will make maximum use of it, and we will take it to the very end. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second team, you want to say something to us?
Yeah. Okay, good evening again, everyone. On behalf of Team 2, the Savor Jubilee, we want to say thanks to the organizing team for organizing such a beautiful event, especially that has to do with water. We want to say to Team 1, thanks ever so much for your brilliant ideas. That was so nice of you, especially implementing such a project in the slum community. So thanks ever so much. You worked overnight and your effort wasn't in vain. And also to the other team members, hats up to you, don't give up, push your dream, be more innovative, and look up to the future. Especially me being a member of the water sector, I so admire Team 1 patient because I know what the people in the vulnerable communities go through when it comes to pit latrines and that of accessing clean water. So hats off to you and the global community. We look up to your continuous support. Thanks ever so much.
The third place team, you want to say something? Okay. Fourth place team, do you want to say something? If not, maybe we also pass on to the experts. If any one of you had any last words for the teams.
Okay, team two would speak through my computer.
Oh, okay. They were setting up.
Yeah, so let me say good evening, good afternoon, good morning to the entire organizing team of Unleash 2020. I'm Elijah Stimba, I'm the team lead. Let me use this time to congratulate our winners for being very innovative, for crafting such a solution. We thought we could beat them with what we did, but the best came out and you guys were looking for the best. So I want to say thank you for affording we, the young people, such a great opportunity and platform where we can brainstorm and innovate as to how we can come up with solutions to solve some of the problems that our country is faced with. So I want to say thank you to Unleash team and thanks for affording me my first ever participation in a hackathon. And I think I made a milestone. I came there though. So thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this I'm Paola H. Cheeseman from Team 4. Team 2, right? Hello. Yeah, for the fact that we reached this far, we want to appreciate all of our members and even those that made it up to the first, the second, and the third. But I know that once we participated into this program, we all are winner. And to all of my team, I want to encourage us that we shouldn't give up. Let us keep pushing. And I believe that we will make it the next round. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the spirit.
Okay. Any of the facilitators or experts wants to say something before we close?
I think Cicera is here, Koba is here.
Yes.
So once again, thanks for all of the amazing job, and yeah, keep in touch, and looking forward to contribute to Liberia. And anyone who'd like to get our consultation, any idea, so I'm ready to do that, and no worries about that, and I'm looking forward to help you guys. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I see it's almost 9 o'clock Liberian time.
Yeah.
Which is almost 10 o'clock here. So to wrap up, we just want to say a very, 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 very big thank you to all of our supporters. All of you have given up your time voluntarily to this initiative. We want to say thank you very much to our experts and facilitators. We also want to say a very big thank you to our partners that have worked endlessly with us, especially to the UNDP that has funded this entire project, to the Unleashed Secretariat for all of their support, also building up the whole concept and letting us also share in the idea and bringing this to Liberia. For the participants, we have certificates for you that we will give to all of you who participated in this event. And for your prize money, you will access it through Yona Liberia, who is the implementation on the ground in Liberia. So thank you all again very, very much. And this has been an awesome and wonderful time. Thanks again to the OT team and just overwhelmed and excited. Thank you all.
Thank you. Team, please submit your solution in the Google form. As part of the deliverable. If you don't put the solution in the Google form, only Secretariat will not have it. Please don't forget that. Very important.